Hey there, boys and girls. It's Saturday, May 2nd. Welcome to this installment of the Time to Tinker Show. Lots of stuff been going on around here since our last little chat. We still are in a little bit of a budget hold, but for our racing project. But we've freed up some stuff and we made a few changes, so we'll see what we can do. The biggest problem we had with our four-cylinder mini modifieds is the particular classes right now are really quiet. There's one track that's not getting any of them coming out, and there's another track that's only getting 3 to 4 cars maybe on a good night. But the one thing that we've got going on is the hobby stock class is huge. There's only 3 area tracks, but there's a lot of cars coming out. So it's a good thing for racing locally to see that, but bad thing for us because we didn't have a car. So we've rectified that problem. What we did is we found a fella selling a hobby as a roller with no engine, and so we contacted him, got a hold of him, and basically a hobby stock is a rear-wheel drive American-made car, or it could be a light truck. Mid-size type stuff. The class is kind of dominated by Camaros, Firebirds, metric Monte Carlos, Buick Regals, Pontiac Grand Prix, those type of cars. That's generally what you see. So we found a guy that was selling one as a roller, less engine. We got a hold of him and said, hey, got some pictures of the car and didn't look too bad. And so we said, hey, would you be interested in a trade? We don't really have any money to spend. So, and he says, well, what do you got? So in the end, what we did is we made a trade straight across for his hobby roller, a couple spare wheels and tires, a couple of those things, for the black mini mod that we had, the Toyota powered car. We traded him that car for it. So I'm very happy with that. Dollar for dollar, we did really, really well. So we've got that car that we'll take a look at in a second, and got something really interesting to show you. It was advertised as a roller, basically without an engine. It does have an engine in it. Actually, and the engine was complete with the exception of the carburetor. He kept his carburetor, and I told him he could keep the seat out of it too. The seat was, he was a real small guy and the seat was tiny, so I put my own seat in it anyways. So I told him to keep that. But other than that, the car's complete. Car's really straight. One front fender was beat up pretty bad, but other than that, it's not bad at all. But the other thing we've done, I think 3 weeks ago, it's springtime auction here. So we went out there, took a look around. They cut loose some Crown Victoria police interceptors, the state of Nevada, and so we were able to obtain one of those at a pretty good price and add that to the fleet. We'll take a look at that too. So first off, let's take a look at this hobby. We got it here in the garage. I've actually been working on it this morning, and see what we've got. Okay. Yes, and your eyes are not deceiving you. It is pink. Okay, so basically what we've got is not 100% sure. I'm thinking it's a 72 or a 73 Chevy Nova. Nova guys can correct me on that, tell me what it is. The car's relatively straight, and yes, it is pink. And believe it or not, it's actually Plasti Dip. So, but the problem is they put the Plasti Dip on really, really thin, so it's not peeling very well. So I'm basically just DAing it off, because we can't have a pink car. So, anyways, but it's a pretty well built car. It's got a Howell aluminum radiator. that came in it. It is a turbo 350 transmission. The cage is pretty nice, pretty well built. On the inside, hopefully the sun's not in the way here, and you can see what we're looking. Bad, I still have the seat just sitting in there, just to have to mount it. But anyways, not too bad a piece, not too bad at all. It's not a native car. There's a little bit of rust here and there at the bottom of it that I've seen. But like I say, it's not beat up too badly. Got a big fuel cell in it. Rear loop cage, not too bad. Got good tires. We do have a pair of spares. As you can see, we started stripping this off. Like I say, this front fender here was just crushed, so we've got it back into the semblance of the shape of what it once was. Got some more work to do on it. I was working on this at night, and I've been waiting for today to pull that out of it. What you got? But yep, good cage, transmission cooler, batteries back there. Not too bad a piece. Like I said, it's pretty straight, not, you know, terribly tore up. But now the interesting thing, of course, the engine that we have here is basic small block Chevrolet. It's 5.7 liter, 350 cubic inch, older engine. This car was on the track 3 weeks ago for the last time, and because basically it was either run a little bit too hard, or it exceeded its mechanical limits, and actually it was a containment failure is what it was. The block and oil pan and so forth failed to contain everything inside. So there you have it. Yes, that's it. That's a big hole out of the block. Busted pretty darn good. The oil pan. Yeah. So this one here, as far as the long block goes, if I can save, I'm kind of hoping I can save the cylinder, the heads off of it. Nothing else is going to be much good, of course. You can actually look. Oh, the hammer's picking this up. You can look right straight through the oil pan. See the other side. So, had a pretty violent event there, and it failed severely. So that's the end of that one. But we still do have everything. We got the power steering, alternator. We got all the manifolds, you know, the mounts. These I like these nice tall valve covers with the circle track breathers on them. That's good. So we did get all that stuff. Like I say, of course, it's a turbo 350, which essentially run in second gear. So, but what we have here, over there in the corner, we gotta get it out, is a. It's actually out of a motorhome. It's a 4-bolt main block, the heavy duty truck deal. It's all complete. Like I said, actually I do have a carburetor for it, but I can't use it. It's a 4-barrel, and we have to run a 4412 Holly. So we have that for it. I gotta get that out, strip everything off down to the long block, and I'll change the pan gasket, change some other stuff on it, and we'll stick it in and see what we got. So we've got to do that. We've got to put the engine in. We've got to mount the seat. Got to put a couple gauges in it that has no tachometer. Change that. Put one of those in. The biggest thing is to make it not pink. So I don't know. We haven't really decided what we're going to come up with color-wise. Yeah, we got to do that. We got to trim the wheel wells and make some mud panels for in here. The problem is when you leave everything like that, all it does is it gets full of mud, and you know, inside the car and everything like that. So you make some panels. See, here's a good example of it. See that opening right there in the mud, and like this one here. See, it's open into the car, and that just fills up with crap. So we'll make some panels there. Like I say, put a different color on it. It's pretty much ready to go. I mean, other than that, everything else is good. So it shouldn't be too big a deal, and we shouldn't actually have to expend a lot of funding to do it, which is good. And we'll keep more money and put it actually into a run the car budget. So anyways, that's what that one is. And then our other little deal here is this one. This one here is a 2008. It's a Crown Victoria. It's a Police Interceptor, P71 designation. State of Nevada Highway Patrol had the car. I spent about a week cleaning it up. It's got its share of, you know, scratches and little dings and stuff like that. 112,000 miles on it. A patrol service, so you do get some things. But it's a nice car. It's one of the nicer ones I've had yet. It has a full cloth interior. All the seats are matching cloth. It is fully carpeted. Not terribly hacked up or full of holes or anything, so that's nice. Of course, we got our standard issue Goodyear Eagle Ultra Grips all the way around. It's a nice piece. So I'm going to take this, like I mentioned before, this will kind of fill the role of cash cow, the money that we invest in these things. Typically, this is number 6 that we've had, the sixth one, and every one of them so far, after, you know, driving them for 6 months or a year or whatever, we've doubled our money on every one of them. So, and I don't see where this one here would be any different. The one thing I'm going to have to do though is I'm going to have to purchase a piece of glass. The windshield is cracked here and it's kind of pitted up anyway, so we'll change that. So there you have it. That's what we're up to. And keeping ourselves busy, out of trouble anyways. Yeah, so next up we'll clean this all up in here. We'll throw a quick coat of black industrial enamel in here and make it look nice. Get that motor out, strip it down. We'll throw a coat of paint on the motor, slide that in, and get everything else back on it. And we should be way ahead. Camera girl out here, and she can help us de-pink. Get the pink off there and scrape it up. The plastic dip's kind of funny. It works pretty well for stuff like this. It's a good idea, but the whole trick of plastic dip is you got to put it on thick enough. If you put it on just a light thin coat, just a color, it's hard to get it off. It doesn't peel very well, and that's exactly what we got going on with this one. So, like I say, we've been fooling with it at night and going along. And like I say, this fender was, of course, it had previously been body worked anyways. These holes were already here. This was back to here, and this was, you know, folded up and everything like that. It was just ugly. So, straightened back out. It's still kind of ugly. You got to flatten it out a little bit, and we'll call that good. Put a coat of paint on it, and there was a bunch of filler. It was smushed here too. The door was pushed in, you know, the front of the door and the fender here was all pushed in, so we got that straightened out relatively okay. And there was a bunch of filler in the bottom down there, and of course it was all cracked and everything. So you can't have filler in race cars because every time you touch anything it cracks and falls off and stuff like that. So you're better off just having it be a little wavy and be able to be bent. So there you have it. Everything in here is just a total mess and disaster from working on this stuff. But anyways, keeps us out of trouble, keeps us rolling right along. Weather's been pretty nice here. It's become quite warm, and it's almost time to go out and start working on the front yard. So I'd like to get this one tidied up, get all this stuff done before I start actually go out and doing the yard, because that way, and then this one is ready to go. We don't have to mess around with it. We can take it out and I just want to run some laps or something, so we'll get it out there and we'll do it. And it's nice because it's a class where there's a lot of cars. I don't like classes where there's, you know, 3 cars and stuff like that. That's just, it's no fun. But if you get out there with, you know, 15, 20 other cars, that's a pretty good time. So that's what we're looking to do. We're probably, the 2 candidates to run this would be American Valley Speedway in Quincy, California, and Rattlesnake Raceway in Fallon, Nevada would be the 2. I'm not going to, they've changed the hobby stock class in Fernley, Nevada, which is actually the closest track, and now they've changed it from hobby stocks and they're calling them street stocks. And what they actually did when they did that was they opened up a lot of the motor rules. You can do some more stuff to the motor. You can do some chassis stuff. You can, you know, headers. You can. They kind of opened it up a little bit and to make the cars faster. But unfortunately, they've raised the cost of racing. Basic hobby stock class, you know, you throw a junkyard motor in, and if you don't smoke, run it. That's it. You know, the only thing they really control is carburation. And like I say, it's a 4412 2-barrel Holley 500 CFM. That's what you have to run. And if you can't, if you got a higher compression engine, you can't pull vacuum, you know, because of a cam or whatever like that, they'll make you run a restrictor plate on it too. So, but all the cars are relatively equal, you know, that way. So that should be cool. We'll see. Looking forward to, like I say, just turning some laps. That'll be good. But anyways, that's what I'm up to. All alive and well. Next weekend's Mother's Day. So if you don't hear from me by then again, I'll say now, Happy Mother's Day, everybody. And enjoy your family. And until then, I'm going to get back to work. And we'll catch you next time. Take it easy.